Happy solstice, everybody.
Happy solstice, y'all. We do have solstice in the South, too, you know.
That's what I've heard. We wanted to jump on and just acknowledge today. This is always a special day to me, where it's the longest night and the shortest day. For me, that means it's a time of reflection and listening to those dreams, those internal voices.
It's always seemed to be an important day to me, too. It's a turning point. We go from the darkness where it's getting darker and darker and darker with less sunshine, and then one day it just turns around and starts going in another direction. And I think that's why through history and globally there have been all kinds of ceremonies around this time about bringing in the light, about bringing in new hope for what's coming next.
At the same time, there's something about that darkness that really appeals to me, about that sense of inner listening, about what facing certain things that maybe are hard to face. I really love to journal on this day. I love to do qigong. I love to have that internal time, and at the same time, I think both of us felt like we just wanted to connect with you.
Yes.
And
I particularly want to connect because I have found that coming out of this time, this sacred time of quiet and expansive moment of internal work, being in community with other people, being connected with other people who are together wanting to bring in the light in the world and in our own lives and in our individual being. That's what's happening now, and I love to do it in connection with other people.
so do I. I mean, I think that this last year, as we reflect back on it, there's been some rough stuff, especially towards the end of the year. Has been very tough for many of us, and as we go into the next year, not quite having a sense of what might happen or how to navigate whatever's coming up, feels like the kind of challenge that that I really want to stay in alignment for.
Particularly, it's like we're looking at global tensions, environmental, personal, political, group, home, family. There's just so much happening right now. It seems to be pressures coming from many different directions, and it's even more important. I have loved being part of the Nourish the Flame event every year around between Christmas and New Year's, because it is a time to really look at together with other people how to move forward. And I have felt even at times when I feel like I just want to cozy up in the bed and maybe pull the covers up over my head and just stay out of it, that having these moments to connect really have given me support through the years. I mean, 30 years ago when I first experienced the Nourish the Flame with you, and I know it started being annual, I think, in year 2000.
Something like that.
Something
Yeah.
like that. Anyway, it's been a benefit to me. I've been very lucky. I've got to do it every year, and I'm looking forward to it this year, too.
I feel lucky about doing it too. And so, for those of you who don't know, Nourish the Flame is an annual event that I do that's based on Qigong, some very powerful practices, particularly some empowerment practices that are all about how do we manifest what we want to see? How do we create the world that we want to live in? So, instead of thinking about what we don't want, what do we really want? And to do that through the alignment of our wisdom, which is connected to something called the heaven realm, the human realm, which is your heart, your passion, what you care about, what your purpose is, and the earth realm, which is the actions you take. And when we can align these things, I think that really helps, for me at least, to come back to center so that I continue to focus on where and how can I contribute best.
It's helped me, too. And challenges this year have been more difficult for me. That's one reason why I'm particularly looking forward to it. Here's one of the reasons it's been more difficult is just being able to walk well, to not lose my balance, to not fall. So more than ever, I want to stay aligned, balanced, and grounded. And it begins on the solstice. The thought of bringing in the light and how do I want to do that begins right now for me, and then keeps going. It just keeps going.
And in the Taoist philosophy, it's also about moving from internal to external, or from yin to yang. So the focus is now what is coming out. So as we move out towards the spring, what is it what are the seeds that we have been planting and gestating? What is it that we want to see start to sprout in the months ahead? So this is a time to embody that, to put it south of neck, because I think that when we have these images, particularly with these manifestation forms that we'll be doing at Nourish the Flame, it's all about how do you own it? How do you live it? How do you be it? And how do you own it on a very deep level? So he's coming from the inside out, which feels to me more important than ever.
And it's not like New Year's resolutions. It's different than that. I've done that before. I don't know how many years I was going to lose 10 pounds by my birthday. But it's more of finding that inner motivation that can blossom and bloom by the attention and by the practice and by the care. Gently, without, yeah.
Yeah, so we work on two different aspects. One is this alignment, like I said before, between your wisdom, your heart, your purpose, your joy, and your sense of power, your ability to walk your talk. And then the other focus that I bring into this particular annual event is elements of something called the crystal generator, which really works with, and this is where the Nourish the Flame title came from, because we sort of work with how do you heat up and draw that which nourishes and warms your resolve, so that you're coming from a place of not you should do this or you should do that, but really having a sense that you're supporting yourself, and you're gathering the support from those around you to be able to come forward with your best self.
And every year it's been for me a matter of learning more about what does feed me and fuel me and what does drain me, and developing discernment in how to be with that. Every year I've learned more about it. And I feel more in my skin now. You know what I mean?
So we ended up talking a lot about Nourish the Flame, but
Yeah.
it just feels like, we're preparing for it. It's
Yes.
happening a week from Saturday, on the 28th of December. I would love to see you there, and I'd love to, I'd love to build that chi field, because of course the more of us that are there, and this is global, like the people coming from other countries as well as across the United States, the more we can really have that sense of the synergy of that what we could call the chi field, or the field where we're all sharing and focusing on bringing our best selves out.
Yes.
So for Solstice, here now it's a time of quiet. It's a time of reflection. So I'd love to know from you, what are you reflecting on today? I know that for many people you might be busy getting things together for Hanukkah or Christmas or Kwanzaa or anything else that you might celebrate at this time of year. But what is it when you take a moment to reflect? If you think about the longest night of the year being the time to really nourish your dreams, what kind of dreams do you have? Right? How do we turn into those positive dreams, those sense of flying dreams, to be able to make happen what we want to see happen?
It's like a moment to pause before the pivot to what's next.
Yeah. So please put in the chat any thoughts that you have. We always love to hear from you. And thanks so much for watching this video.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.